deepest.
Okay, we're back. Split the defense. Leafs post game presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted in the booth. As per usual, thumbs up this episode for us. Subscribe to our YouTube. Leave us a comment while you're here or later. We'll come back and we'll talk to you. Catch us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. Game 23, Leafs win 5, Lightning 3. So,
Nice.
who do we have as a first start tonight?
Tough. I'm gonna give it to Chris Tanev, but Joseph Wall I was gonna sneak him in there until the end, but not like a lot of those were on him, but it was just looking like it was potentially gonna be a shutout, and then very much did not look like a shutout by the end of it. So Chris Tanev, the offensive dynamo we've been wanting on this team. So.
Yeah, Chris Tanev. So, looked like he does that often, but he does not do that often. That was a nice snipe he put in there. Like, a little bit of poise behind that shot. Bar in, a couple of those shots tonight. It was a good night for shooters, apparently, on both sides. Chris Tanev, completely unexpected for everything he brings to this team, like on the defensive side and the shot blocking. For him to provide a goal like that to start the game for us in there, like, that was just huge. There's no bad things I have to say about Chris Tanev at this point in the season.
Yeah, and even on the Knives goal, like, he's the guy that is throwing it at the net. So yeah, I mean, he was doing it for sure. That, like, the goal, like they showed on the broadcast, that they showed one example of when he did this in Vancouver, which I thought was funny. Normally when they like show a goal scorer, like, oh, he scores like this all the time, it's just like, yeah, see, he did it here and here and here. But like, it was like, yeah, see, Chris Tanev did it once before. But yeah, it's funny to see. I mean, no dig at Chris Tanev. I love the guy. I mean, but not what we're expecting from him. But I mean, it's awesome when you get it. I'm always cheering for those guys that hardly get points. Like Lawrence, every time he scores or does something, I'm so excited well. He's a guy everyone cheers for. So yeah, good night for him.
Yeah, love to see that from Chris Tanev.
Yeah.
So on the other side of that, we started out here with Joe Woll. So Joe Woll made 37 saves tonight. He made a huge breakaway save at the end of the first. He posted a shutout for 2.5 periods. Yeah, that was an OEL pizza. That was brutal. OEL had himself quite the night tonight. This was probably not a... We'll get into him after that. Yeah. But Joseph Woll is now on a 5-game win streak, though. Overall, what did you think of Woll's performance tonight?
I mean, I thought it was amazing. Like you said, for 2.5 periods. And actually, like, he made some big saves too, like coming down the stretch. It's not like the 3 goals aren't just like a bunch of easy goals, like, I mean, tough saves to make off a skate, a really nice snipe going the opposite way. I forget what the third one was, but I thought he had an amazing game. Coming off like 2 games ago, he had a shutout, and to almost have one tonight, and really just the team in front of him not really knowing how to close out a game, basically, and one of their weaker points. So I put that more on the team than him. So, but yeah, I mean, it's funny how things turn. It's not like I've lost any confidence in Stolarz. One shaky game, I'd say, but kind of looking like 2 goalies that are going to go back and forth for the rest of the season, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, every time you fall in love with one, the other one comes out of nowhere and just plays unbelievable. So it's a good problem to have. It's not a bad thing. We'll continue to see how long this goes for. It's still November.
Yep, that's the thing.
It's December. Is it December?
No,
it's
I
November.
think it's tomorrow. It's
the
December.
last day.
Yeah.
It's still November.
Yeah.
Still November. So yeah, hang on to that thought. But it's nice to have 2 good goalies. And yeah, Joe Woll struggling at the beginning of the season, like we saw him, does not seem to be the Joe Woll but can he stay healthy? That's kind of going to be the conversation around Joe Woll, and it's nice to have Stolarz. But yeah, they're both playing great. I think he had a great game tonight. I was going to rant and rave about him because he was playing his ass off for 50 minutes of this game. And then, he still played his ass off, but a couple of bad ones went in. Like you said, off a skate, there was a tip in front of him. Like, yeah, it was tough. It was tough for him. But he still earned probably my first start tonight because the guy, like, if it wasn't for Joseph Woll, this game would have been probably a loss for the Leafs. Like, I don't know if Stoley would have been coming out tonight and doing that. It's we fall in love with him. He's been great, and I want to say, like, yeah, he would, but like, I watched this guy pull some shit out of his hat tonight that doesn't normally happen. So
the one at the end of the first period, like you mentioned, like that was a really important save. If that goes in, like it's just a different vibe coming into the period and out of it. So like just saves at important times. And I do feel I feel almost more confident with Woll on a breakaway than I do when there's a shot through traffic and potentially a tip. It's just like he makes big saves sometimes. It's one of the things that I love about him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, OEL. So OEL throws that pizza up to that first breakaway to end of the first. He's just carrying the puck tonight into places and doing things. And it started out with me literally talking to myself about, I love how OEL does this kind of stuff because he never gets into, trouble. That's not good. And it happened more than once tonight. He took a couple of penalties. One penalty he certainly deserved. The other one was an absolute joke. Yeah. Absolute joke. The cross check, like can't even remember the Tampa player that cross checked OEL literally right after he delivered a cross check, but like if one's a penalty, the other one's a penalty too. It's fair and fucking square, and like that is part of the reason that this game was close. Obviously, it didn't cost the team 2 points. It didn't matter tonight, but like that's infuriating. Yeah, that's infuriating. And honestly, like not even just for the team, like for a sports bettor who had money on this game, like for it to be blown on a shit call like that would have been really, really bad for the league. Like that, you can't have that inconsistent reffing.
Yeah, it's such a tough like situation in my eyes because like I don't think like either should have been called. I don't think it's a like one and the other one should be. It's just, I mean, the ref had to have seen it all play out. Like, OEL gets slashed to the back of the leg, and then he comes in with like a really soft cross check. So, I don't know why. But whatever. It's soft though. It's not like he came and buried the guy,
and he got one right back. Like immediately ate one right back. So like,
well deserved. How's it? I felt like he should have ate one back. That's like a play where the players are just kind of like policing themselves and just it's not getting out of hand. So just I don't know. Let it go. And. Like you said, it is one where like if that is a blown game, like do you blame OEL for it or do you blame the refs? So I'm not sure where it's hard for me to sit. I probably would have blamed OEL a little bit just because the emotions of it all, but I just don't know why that's a penalty either way.
Yeah, I would have been
not
fine
many
if
penalties
one
though.
Of them were...
For a Tampa-Toronto game, like the vibes just seem to be much different in these games because just like not many penalties called throughout the game, right? Like just doesn't feel like the same. Like the real rivalries with Florida now. Kucherov not being there is something, but it just feels like there's no Stamkos forever, and Kucherov not being there, and it just feels like the team's just totally a different Tampa.
Yeah, that was definitely a big hit. No Kucherov there tonight. But like you can see the massive, massive difference between Florida and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay did come back and put 3 goals on the board. It ended up being 5-3 because of an empty net goal, but like it was close. They brought it back and it was a close game again. So they're not a steaming pile of dog shit, but they're not the Florida Panthers. They're not. Yeah. It's as simple as that. Like you can see the different level of when the Florida Panthers turned it on as to when Tampa Bay turns it on. There was some scramble and tired, it's just not the same level of hockey. And like, if the Leafs want to come out and win the East this year, they're going to have to be able to turn it on and live and play with the likes of the Florida Panthers, who won 6-0 today against the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, their cold streak's over for sure. I think like part of like I don't even give Tampa much credit for the partial comeback tonight because I felt like most of it was just on like the Leafs just have so much issue closing out a game. The soon as the moment turns from you just playing hockey and trying to win to we're defending this lead, if things just go sideways for this team. And I know it's like the whole the 3-goal lead is the worst lead in hockey, but the Leafs just take that to a whole new level.
It's two.
Is it two?
It's two, but it's three for the Leafs.
It's like it's anything over one. Like anything over one is the worst lead for them because they just decide to just chip it in. They don't play like even tonight, and I think part of it's on Berube for not rolling enough guys like players out there. Like you're basically just rolling the top two lines with like Dewar kind of filling in here and there. And so that like no one can really hustle enough in the neutral zone to make a play and shut things down. So it basically becomes chip the puck in and then like don't do anything as far as forechecking in neutral zone and you're just in your own zone again. And then that's when you get like so many shots in the third period. I just you need to be able to roll more guys out there than that, and that is part of the issue. I don't put it like totally on the players, it's half on the coach here in my eyes. Just and I guess just the personnel. Like we're a lot of guys injured. Fraser Mitten's not necessarily someone you trust fully, and you maybe don't want to throw him out there. But
Sonic Nikita Grabenkin a lot tonight.
Yeah, until the end, I felt like you saw him until you didn't. I feel like Grabenkin, Minton, who else was on the fourth line there? Lorentz. Like, I don't think I saw much of them in the third period. Lots of them throughout the first two. But yeah, I don't know what changed there. And maybe it's just like the last 10 minutes or so. But
yeah, he's got his guys.
Yeah, he just was rolling with the big guys. And sometimes you have to do that. But at the same time, like, that's when you get into these kind of issues.
And,
yeah.
Well, I mean, like, and in moments like that, our guy who they're really missing right now is David Kampf. Right,
for sure.
You forget what that guy brought to this team in the dying moments of the game. Like they were rolling out. I think they did Matthews, Marner, and Dewar at one point or something like that at the end of the game.
Yeah,
and it's like you just know that's not Dewar. Like that should have been Kampf if they're gonna try and roll out their three best defensive players. Like those probably are your three best defensive forwards: Matthews, Marner, and Kampf. Right, like. So, I mean, They are definitely missing a lot of bodies. They don't have the personnel. There's guys that are playing in positions that they shouldn't be. But you know what? They still barely squeaked it out, held on, and got the 2 points. And they don't ask how, they ask how many.
Yeah, and even though like Kampf is a fourth liner that doesn't play a ton of minutes, like they scramble things up and he becomes the third line center that they put with two other guys, and that's when he becomes a little more valuable. And I mean, this isn't much of an issue if we just had a third line center, but he is kind of that Band-Aid that you can use whenever you need to. He's a luxury. That's why you pay so much for a fourth line center. It's just Camp's a guy that like as just a fourth liner, he's a waste of money. But when the situations come up, he's definitely very useful for sure.
Yeah, all the penalty kill and those end of the game moments. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what you pay him for, is it?
Yeah.
That's
what is it worth it though? That's the question.
That's what we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, talking about injuries here. Maple Leafs D. Jake McCabe skated in his 600th career NHL game tonight, and he took a puck off the back of the head or the neck or something. Yeah. That did not look good. He doesn't return to the game after that. What did you see? Where do you think it hit him? It looked like kind of like in between the ear and the center of his neck. Like it's like where a nerve would be. Like I hope it's just a stinger because when you turn your head too fast, and I hope it's like a really exaggerated version of that. But that could cause serious damage.
Yeah, and like my thought is that like you have your jaw, like the back of your jawbone that's really close. You just hope it didn't hit that because he's sitting there and you don't see him like any blood or anything. So you just hope that it kind of hit a bit of a meaty spot, and you would want him to sit regardless. If you get hit up that high, like even if he feels he should go back out, like just like take the rest of the game, man. So and it's awful because I was just saying last episode of like how this team's been able to pull off so many wins because they've been so healthy on defense. It's only been forwards that have been going out, but yeah. And then the next frigging game, and a defenseman, gets injured.
So it's your fault.
Yeah, it's totally my fault. I'm very sorry. Yeah,
son of a bitch.
I know. Yeah,
yeah. So the Marner JT line tonight has Pontus Holmberg on it. It's so fucking weird because it works, but I don't like it. But it really seems to work kind of well. But I'm like, Holmberg's not the right guy. But I'm like, McMahon will be back, right? And that's what the line was, and that's what the line should be. But like, you know, it was Justin Bourne, I think, said that Pontus Holmberg's like the bottom 5% of the league in producing offense. Like, and it's probably true. And like, you watch his game now, like that's just not. He's got hands of stone. He does not make plays. He works hard, and he's definitely on the right side of the puck and seems to be a good like puck battle winner. But like, he's not offensively inclined. But you see him play with JT and Marner, and like, he goes into the corner, the puck pops out, and it's on our stick again. Like, okay, and then they fuck around, they throw it back towards the net. Holmberg's on it like a dog. It pops back out, and it's like I don't love the line, but I don't hate it. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, like he reminds me a little bit of Connor Brown without the offensive part of Connor Brown. Like when he moves around out there, like when he goes into corners, he is good at certain parts of the game, and like correction, Justin Bourne said that he was one of the bottom 5 players, not just bottom 5%. So yeah, even worse. But yeah, like that's the thing is like I don't feel bad when he's out there when he's in his own zone. Like he's a guy who can make a play on the boards, he can chip it out, make something simple, but you're never gonna get anything special from him. So I mean,
but it works.
It's fine for now, but like you said, like you want Bobby McMahon to come back or another solution there. So it's not ideal. Like I feel like Pontus Holmberg should probably never be a top 6 guy. But I do think that it's a fine, in a pinch to put him up there. But yeah, just don't expect him to make any like amazing plays. If he scores, it's probably just because Marner's just gonna like put one off his stick and in. That's more of a Pontus
which would be fine, but like,
yep.
He was like a 6th round pick.
Zach Hyman scored on the 25 goals just being in the right position. So
yeah, you remember how bad his hands were, and he ended up scoring 50 in Edmonton. So like,
even
never
more,
know. But he is 26. I don't know. Lots of years left for this kid. Who knows what he could turn into? And like I said, I can see how out of place he seems, but then when you watch the other two and how well they work with him, it's like, is it bad or is it really good? So I don't know if like, do you continue with McMahon or like, to another thought of that is like, I didn't love Willie and Matthews together tonight. Like I really didn't love that. I would separate them. Like Willie looked like he was in a part of this conversation of like, when Matthews comes back, we still have to play the same game. We can't just be looking to Matthews, right? And Willie, there was a few times tonight where it felt like he was just in a do-it-himself mode, where he probably should have used his teammates. And whether, I don't know, like that wasn't the right call, I think, because these guys were Austin Matthews in this situation and they were in the right position, but he had his head down and he was ready to drive his own line and ready to do his own thing. So like, I don't know, why not just split them up? And like, I wonder if Craig Berube saw that too, because I'm just sitting on my fucking couch. So I think the coach probably took recognition of that too. And I wonder if he splits them up, because he really didn't look like they had massive chemistry tonight.
No, but like, I mean, chemistry is something that comes with time. I do think that Willie looked like
They've been together for 7 years though. Like,
yeah, but like Matthews, it's his first game back. Like I don't expect fireworks from them like right away, but I did feel like Willie had a little bit of an extra step tonight. He was making plays and cutting up the middle and doing his thing. Like, yeah, like you said, like not any amazing pass to Matthews. Actually, there was one really nice pass to Matthews, and he totally bobbled it. And it was a bit of a tap in if he controlled it nicely. But yeah, Matthews first came back. He's got to get into his game a little bit. He didn't look awful though. it's part of it too is, again, the injury part of it. Like, who do you want to put up there? Because, like, I would like to put Domi up there with Matthews, but Domi's not around. You know, he's injured. So, you know, I don't want to put, you know, Gurbenkin up there. I don't want to put Dewar up there. So I think it is, I like it for now. I think it's way better than my expectation of Marner just going right back with Matthews. So I'm just glad that they kept JT and Marner together, and Willie and Matthews can try and get stuff going as a first line. When everyone's back, I think there is a discussion to have Willie on the third line creating on his own.
With McMahon.
That's when he
Willie
is being his
together.
best.
Matthews, Knies together, and then JT and Marner together, and then you just put guys with them.
Yeah,
right? Just like
the thing, like you're always gonna have to go back to it in a sense, because there's not quite enough depth when it comes to like the third period when you're trying to kill a game. Like, I think you're always gonna go back to Willie being up there, but to have something different, that's what you're initially going to, and rolling more lines more frequently throughout the game. Like, like you said it best, where Willie kind of is his best when he's just creating on his own, and it's what he does. And so just give him that opportunity. You just can't give him a couple lemons to work with. Like, you don't want to just be like, Willie, you got to do it all on your own. You got to like give him a little bit of something. So yeah, McMahon's not a bad idea if you bump them both down. Then, like, you know, but again, like, we need a third line
then now you need to
center,
just get him a center. Yeah, that's all you need. Just a center. It's very clear. It's going to happen. Like,
if Jordan Staal played on this team, it would just be a totally different game. You know, like, I just someone that's
10 years
just
ago, Jordan Staal.
Yeah, that's what it. Sorry, yeah, not like today, Jordan Staal, but like just a guy of that identity, like Ryan O'Reilly of today, but of like a couple years ago, like just
the
like I don't know. Just a guy that you're not going to get fireworks from, but he's just always going to be responsible and be able to make plays with star players. You know,
Yanni Gord.
Yeah,
that's who I want. I just have visions of that old Tampa third line. They were just fantastic.
And apparently,
he's a great centerman.
Like, he's on the last year of his contract, and that's a guy that's probably going to get too many draft picks thrown.
Kicked by Utah the other day. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I would welcome that. You know, that he reminds me of kind of Ross Colton, right? Like, I always go back to Ross Colton because he just seems like the perfect third line centerman. But yeah, it's just one of those type of players. Just this team is lacking in so much.
Definitely, Ross Colton is a perfect third line centerman. He has 2 first names.
Yeah,
like, anybody with 2 first names sounds like the perfect grittiest third line centerman that you need. Like, it's also a little bit of like offensive. You know, it's like what did he scored like 20 goals last year, 25 goals last year. Ted,
I don't know.
Bueller, anyone? Bueller.
Ted's watching the
sorry, how many? I'm sorry, I'm watching the Avs game as well. Yeah. How many goals?
Ross Colton.
Ross Colton, 17 goals, I believe.
Yeah, see, he was close to being a 20-goal scorer as a third line guy.
And
that's
responsible.
What we need up in this bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, the Avs are struggling. Maybe we can make a deal.
They need a goalie. We got 2 of them. So.
Yeah. Well, they just got a goalie today too, right? So we'll see what happens there. So the last thing I got on the docket here for tonight is finally, Nicky Bobby gets the monkey off his back and scores a goal. Nice goal too. You wonder if the monkey's off his back, will this continue? Does this impress you at all? Do you even care? Are you just done with the guy? I do wonder if this unlocks the guy that we all think that he could be.
I mean, am I impressed with the goal? Definitely. It was such a nice shot. That's a goal that not many guys can pull off, but like, I don't know. I feel like he's never proven to me that he can do this in streaks in regular season. So I don't know. I just do feel a little bit done with him. He less and less impresses me in his effort out there. And also just like more and more, he just keeps falling, and for just no reason. So he's just not the type of player I think this team needs. I think anything that if he gets the goal scoring going, it's kind of a good opportunity to use him in a trade. Otherwise, he just doesn't fit. It's nothing against the
hopefully,
guy.
I hope he gets on a bit of a run here, scores a few goals, and then he starts looking real good for a team who has a second line center who'll be a real good third line center. That'd be real nice.
He'd look great on Utah. I'm sure Utah could really use a guy who can really shoot.
Who do you want for a centerman from Utah?
I don't know.
Nick Robertson.
Yeah, like
we're big old Bukestad.
Sure. I mean, like that's probably better than what we got, you know? So, I mean, if we went 1-for-1, I'm not sure that's a trade that's going to happen, but
the trade is 1-for-1.
Yeah, I would definitely do it.
It's probably not going to be a 1-for-1 deal.
No.
More than likely. And it'll probably be multiple pieces. Right? Like, although, like, I don't know. Don't really know this GM's MO the same way that we knew the last GM's MO. But it's like I do kind of expect maybe him to go out the door one way and something from that deal to go another way, or maybe retention involved or something along those lines to get a better player, because they need a center, they have wingers, and if Nick Robertson's not scoring and he's the Nick Robertson that he's been for up to this point of the season for the rest of the season, he ain't worth shit, CP. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
So we are rooting for Nick Robertson to score goals. That's what we hope to see happen. And I really hope this unlocks something for him. And you know what? If he starts on a real good pace here too, and like we start having 3 real dominant lines, well then all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe not. Maybe we just keep Nick Robertson and we'll send something else out for a third line centerman. Like, I don't know. But either way, I think Nick Robertson being good is a good thing for this team.
Oh, no question. Anyone who is part of this team, like you want the most from them, whether you want them to be on the team or not.
Well, if it's some guys, it doesn't matter. Like I don't care whether Connor Dewar is good or not. I don't care.
Oh, I mean,
he doesn't really have value here or there. Like he's either going to play for us decently, he's going to be Connor Dewar somewhere else. Nick Robertson still has this potential somewhere, maybe that could be tapped into that might increase his trade value to get you something that you need to go in and win more than one playoff round. And if you want to use that as a trade chip, you need that guy to show even just a fucking glimmer of that potential. But if he doesn't do that, then you aren't going to get anything for him.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so we hope for that. So you got anything else you want to go over for this game here?
No, I don't think so. It was just nice to see more of our full squad back. Matthews just being on the ice just makes this team totally different. And Matthew Nyes coming back from the head hit that was a legal head hit. It was just good to see them both on the ice. So
yeah, very good to have guys back. Hopefully they start coming back more. We still got 6 guys out, 5 guys out.
Well, they keep dropping.
Reeves has to be able to play again here soon, doesn't he? It's got to be his 5 games. We all forget about him. We don't even need him.
Let's suspend him again. So.
Yeah, we'll just suspend him again. It's been going just fine. Swimmingly, thank you.
That's right.
But anyways, we are going to be playing Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks and a revisit against Tyler Bertuzzi on Monday. So don't forget to place your bets on the Tyler Bertuzzi goal, because that guy never scores. He's playing his old team. His old team is the Leafs. You're probably going to win some money.
Connor Bedard also having a very slow start goal scoring wise, so I wouldn't be surprised if he also pots a few.
Yeah, Connor Bedard against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll see if he becomes the next.
He's gone from being like a shoe-in for the Team Canada to probably not making the team. Kind of tough sophomore slump for that guy, which is, to be expected in certain ways, but a bit of a fall off. Like I don't know.
Couldn't you bring him as like a 13th forward though? Like I think you do. I think you have to, right? He's got that game-changing ability. Like you have to.
I don't think he impacts the team at all. I think there's enough guys that do what he does. The only reason I think you bring him is to kind of teach the next generation about like what being part of Team Canada is about. Like, you want him around Crosby and McKinnon and the boys, right? Just to kind of, it's been so long since we've done these Team Canada things that there's no one that's learned how to be a member of it. So that's my argument for putting him on the team. But I mean, I would be just as happy if they put Macklin Celebrini in there, just like any of the really young guys to teach, whoever it is. But we'll see.
Yeah, that Macklin Celebrini's kind of good. Yeah.
The goalie debate for Team Canada just makes me sadder and sadder.
Whatever.
Jordan Binnington's going to be our goalie. Like,
I'm not even worried about it. Logan Thompson or something.
No, Logan. Oh yeah, that'd be good.
No.
Yeah. What?
Well, he's playing a hell of a game out in Washington this year. Like, Logan Thompson.
He hasn't played much though. Canada. Yeah, that's the thing. He even in his career, but also this year, I think he's played like 8 games or something. Like, I don't know. Who do you think?
We're
Ted?
20 games in. That's halfway through.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. It doesn't Team sound Canada so bad when you put it that way.
Yeah, there's obviously a few names you could toss around, guys that are doing well, but I don't know. I don't think
we're talking about
Binnington. I don't think so.
We're talking about Joey Decord trying to get a Canadian passport so he could be an option. It's like, ooh, yikes. He's not even good enough for his own NHL team. So, yeah. Remember when it used to be like, oh, Carey Price. Oh, maybe Roberto Luongo. Maybe Martin Brodeur. Like, it was, those days are long gone.
I mean, Fleury's still playing, right?
Hey. Like, Luongo, I've seen has had pads on, so maybe either of those guys.
I think Aiden Hill is a name that should be in there.
Oh yeah,
yep. Is he?
He is
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have heard that name tossed around.
Didn't the Leafs light him up last week?
I think so.
Yeah. So, anyways, it'll be a search. But we are going to play the Blackhawks at home Monday. We'll be back then. For now, let's wrap this sucker up and get out of here. Thanks for joining us for Split the Defense, Leafs post-game, presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas since 2004. Leave us a comment, hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, and listen to us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. Until next time, peace.
Later, folks.
Peace.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_shook.